Hey, everybody.
Hello.
All right, everyone's here?
Hey, Isaac is on the line.
Okay, Isaac. Okay, let me just start out by saying, I know it's not easy. I have to make time for me to put up my little updates, but let's try to make this weekly EAC weekly newsletter. Let's try to just take 5-10 minutes of every week and just kind of jot down some stuff that you want to put in there to update our community. So it'll be helpful. Please try to do that when you can.
I don't think you have the latest version up there. I don't think you brought, because I know I did my update early this morning, and I think Maydell had put that in.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do from now on, guys, is figure out a way to do this on the website. So that the problem with updates is that if you do it, on your computer, it has to upload onto Dropbox, then everyone else has to have access to it. So let me go get the update.
For waiting on that final paperwork from her. I called her just a few minutes ago, and she wasn't available. She was in an appointment, so she will get back to me as soon as she's done with that, and then hopefully we can hammer that out. I know that, well, George has updates on his, so for that particular project, so I won't go through that, but I believe the extension was granted for that project to June 12th, so that gives us a little bit of time to finalize everything as it is. Beyond that, I know that Mary Krummenacher had...
I have two things I got to verify on the HC ball side and the ESC ball side. I got to verify the encoder for the SMA. You change all the different settings, the very bottom ones. You can verify them on both aircraft whenever you get to it, the configuring and all that.
Bill, is that you?
We're all really verifying. When you pull down, you select it, and it goes green. That's all I need to see.
Okay, so.
Whenever.
Okay, let me see my. I'll send Bill a message.
Yeah, I think it's those.
Some part of the configuration process, when you change the frequency and the alpha or bravo, all that stuff with the SMA link profile.
Okay.
That's all I got to do. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to send a message to mute himself.
Zoltan, can you hear us?
Okay, I just sent him a message.
Okay.
He did. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, I know Mary Krummenacher had professional pictures taken on the flip that we just finished in St. Louis, 3311 Wisconsin, and so we're anxious to get that up on the MLS and listed and see what kind of response we get. We expect to be pretty positive. Using Hector and Aztec properties as the contractor is probably going to be a pretty nice improvement over John Skaggs' contractor that we've used in the past. I think Hector just does a much better job from all reports, and it seems like this project turned out great. So we're very anxious to see what kind of response we get from the market on that. Timing is right. We know that the market in St. Louis is extremely strong. So really, you know, we expect good things. So we will see about that soon. B2R refinance, really the last piece that I'm working on right now is getting our insurances aligned with their requirements. We currently use National Real Estate Insurance Group, which is really very, very convenient for us when it comes to flips, but on longer term holds, I don't think it's the ideal setup, and that's becoming evident in conversations I've had with different insurance brokers. So I am receiving 3 different quotes from 3 different carriers who work with B2R around the country and expect to probably lower our costs along with improve our coverages on all these properties. So that'll be a net positive for us. It's just, you know, again, it takes some time to go through everything and get all the information I need on that, but I think I have done that up to this point, so I'm just waiting back for those quotes. And that's really it, other than the normal day-to-day stuff that we have going on in terms of all the properties that we're looking at and trying to finance and buy. So I will pass on to the next.
John, tell me, when do you think, what is your best educated guess now about the B2R financing being completed?
I would say, I would hope within 4 weeks. Our final appraisal is being done today, and that is on the one property in Jacksonville that had a bit of a delay due to a tile contractor walking and not getting that done. So Lou had to more or less do that with his normal crew and finish that last week. It was actually done on Thursday or Friday, but the appraisal was not, or the appraiser was not available then or over the weekend. So I just shot a message to Appraisal Nation, who is sort of the consolidator for all these appraisals, and let them know that property's waiting and ready to go. And then also followed up with them, the one other that we have not received back, even though I'm almost positive it's been done, is Arlington, 1301 Arlington. So she said that indeed that it is in process and should be uploaded soon. So I'm interested to see what kind of an appraisal that one comes back with. We're expecting it to be, I think I have an ARV of 100 or 105, and I think that's pretty conservative. So we'll see how that comes out. But once that's done, I think we are probably three weeks of underwriting, and then probably just a few days of signing final papers and all that. So I would hope within 4 weeks we'd be finally wrapping this thing up.
So we're on our home stretch, as they say?
Yes, yes.
Now tell me, how much are you prepared for the next tranche of properties? Are we already have that kind of inventory, or are we halfway, or how does it look?
Yeah, I think we're very close. I'd really have to do an evaluation of which ones we think will qualify best, but I think we're right about there and close to ready for the next one. So, you know, prior to doing that, I think it's important that we evaluate all our options as well, because B2R, you know, we'll see what happens in the next 3 or 4 weeks. If it turns out great and they're easy to work with, that's fine. We could re-up with them, but I think it's important to make sure that nothing has changed in the marketplace in the last couple of months since we started this, because, you know, things are rapidly changing when it comes to this type of product. So you know, I think it makes a lot of sense to sort of put the feelers out again and, in a sense, start the process over again. And, you know, if nothing too much has changed, then we can re-up with B2R, and I would anticipate it being a much smoother process the second time around.
Is there anything that you think we should do differently this second time around?
Well, one of the reasons that this was so delayed is due to the number of markets that we had to cover and all the entities that we had to register and set up. So because B2R requires a single-purpose LLC be set up for the particular properties that are going into that, that may not be something that we can really avoid. If we have properties in Florida, in Ohio possibly, and then all the other markets that we're in go into the second tranche, then it could be a similar process. But I've also been through it now, and so you know, really it becomes streamlined just by the fact that I know what they're going to expect, and you know, a whole lot of the initial time was just having you and I underwritten and getting all that documentation to them from us, and that won't have to be done again, except, you know, probably just a couple of things that are updated. So in terms of doing things differently, not really. I think probably predicting rehab times a little bit better, because that is one thing that got us delayed to a certain extent, where, you know, the 2 properties in St. Louis and then a couple of properties in North Carolina that just went on 2-3 weeks longer than we had expected. So as those appraisals pushed back, everything was sort of stalled.
Okay, Don.
I do have one other. I have one other thing to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and that is registering EAC in Ohio. We need to have a registered agent, and I don't know if DeVore would be the one that is most appropriate for that. I think it probably would be, but Chad, if you're on the line, if you have any opinion on that.
Yeah, hi, I'm here. I don't know if DeVore can because he doesn't actually reside there, but I'm sure someone from his office could probably be a candidate
Maybe
for that.
maybe IIP. I know the company itself cannot be. An LLC cannot be a registered agent. It has to be a person, but maybe he has an idea on that.
Chad,
Yeah,
can you
I
answer
could.
DeVore?
Yeah, I'll ask him. Yeah, and
Yeah.
maybe we could use the same person he uses.
So are we also registered to do business in the state of Florida, Chad and John?
No, I haven't started that yet. I
sent the form last week or the week before. It was all filled out. You just had to write the check and mail it in.
Okay. Did you email that to me?
I think I did.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it might have been Olga, but I'll check my emails again.
Okay. I'm still choking over that $1,000 a little bit. I just think that's unbelievable.
Well, it's only $500 a year after that, so.
Well, that's a lot. You're kidding, right?
No, I'm serious. It's $500 a year for a partnership.
See, I don't understand that. That to me is, you know, all the other states, like Ohio, I'm doing a limited partnership, and it's $125, and it's a one-time deal, and I don't think there are even recurring fees. You just do the re-registration.
Yeah, LLCs
so, anyway.
and corporations and everything else in Florida are 150, 125 to 150. I don't know why they do that with LLPs. They claim it's more a straight administrative burden to them or something.
Okay, the cost of doing business there.
Yeah.
All right, John, do you not want to make the next tranche of properties bigger? Do we not want to hit the $1 million mark? And we didn't do that in this tranche for different reasons.
I definitely do. And I think in the end, let me bring it up here. In the end, our loan won't be $1 million, but we'll be well over $1 million in properties themselves. But yes, you're right. If we can get to $1 million in loan value, then our cost should go down, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Do you also, have we made a decision on the final recourse or non-recourse product that we're going to take advantage of?
No, we haven't. I mean, I know we're going to do non-recourse on this first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, a recourse on the first one, and then we had talked about on all future ones going with a non-recourse.
Now, why do we want to do a recourse on this one? I know the rate is better, but is it that much of a difference?
Yes, I'd have to review, but it is fairly significant in terms of the difference in the rate that we get. And it's always, that's right, it's beyond that. It's also the fact, and this is something that we'll have to evaluate as we go forward, but with a non-recourse, you also have a whole separate banking system where all of the rents need to come into a central bank that they control, and then they divvy out funds from there. And it's just much more administratively burdensome, and they hold back more reserves as well when you're doing non-recourse.
I don't know, John. It would be my vote that we'll do non-recourse for obvious reason, as well as, to me, it seems like if they want to hold back reserves, that's just the way we do business. We're very conservative. So,
well, I understand that. We're only doing 65% of ARB. So I think that we're And it really actually may be less than that. That hasn't been finalized until all the appraisals are in and the underwriting's done, and then we can more or less pick or choose how much we're going to pull out. But if we're at 65 or under, that's pretty conservative as it is. So I don't see it being, you know, a group of properties on which we're highly leveraged that they're going to come back and go after us for. If we were at 80%, then it's certainly a conversation that I would think makes a bit more sense. But that's my opinion on it. My opinion is that the amount in rate and administration that they're charging for that non-recourse makes it not quite worth it.
Okay. All right. Is Olga on the line? No? Okay. Isaac, are you on the line?
Yep. Yes, I am.
Okay. We didn't get any updates from you, but I know you've been working on a little bit with Brittany from Massachusetts, right? Springfield?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So things are going good. I mean, you guys saw the last deal we were talking about. She and I are actually going to talk today, and she's getting all the info. Also got all of the documentation for the 56 unit that's over there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be looking at that as well, and I'll probably just you know, send it your guys' way once I've done my best with it.
Okay.
She seems to be finding a ton of deals and wants to get one in. That way we can start doing more deals with her, because apparently she has the capacity to bring at least a deal a week across. So that's really good. Other than that, that's really just kind of where we're sitting right now is working on that last deal that we talked about. I believe it was Friday.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, let us know what you find. I think one of the things that I'm realizing as we meet more and more people is that as we so much want to emphasize the fact we're investing in people and not in deals, is that I don't know how good Brittany will ever become, but I do know that one thing she does that I think is a recipe for success with EAC is that she won't give up. She's constantly engaging. So we've met lots of people that seem great on paper and great in interviews, but they just kind of disappear and we don't ever hear from them again. So
yeah, she doesn't get discouraged easily from what I've been able to tell.
Yeah, so at least she has that as a very positive, potentially, you know, successful factor on her part. So I would say if she wants to constantly be engaged with us, you need to constantly engage with her, Isaac, and see what comes of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. Bill, are you on the line? I know he's on the line, but he may be busy doing something at this moment.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, that's okay. So,
obviously, you guys know I was online last time when I left my speakerphone on, but
that's okay.
that's why I usually double mute. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So only updates I have, I found a property that, you know, I run a little side business with my wife trying to buy land and flip land, and accidentally found a house on the land. The guy doesn't want the house, so did the numbers on it, and I sent the information over to Frank to go check it out. I'm still waiting to hear back. It's in Melbourne, so it's close to the water. He's looking for about $16,000 on the property, and based on my numbers, that's like a 70% ARV. We include about $5,000 in repairs, and should provide pretty good. I think it's like 2.5% rent, all on cost. So I'm still waiting to hear back from Frank if he actually went to the property and checked it out. Other than that, I talked to Tony from Las Vegas. He approached us with some multifamily deals, and everything, you know, sounded good, and he seems to know what he's talking about. I don't think, and after further discussion with him, it doesn't seem like he actually has gone through a deal. it's something that he used to do or look into about 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and he kind of got sidetracked, and now he's coming back into the multifamily market. And these are like 51 unit buildings or larger, and you know, for someone that's kind of getting back into the game and asking for $250,000 to $1 million, maybe too much risk for us right now. So I think for the time being, we wouldn't want to invest with them now. Maybe if he got a few deals under his belt, we could go ahead and pursue that in the future. But for now, I think we're going to kind of sit back and wait for him to actually prove himself.
So, Bill, I'm going to go back and look at Tony's stuff again, and I'll converse with you directly with you about, you know, working with Tony. And I still have my reservations about him, but we should always look at things. Some of it is just for our own education, and we need to start learning how to evaluate and understand multifamilies. So let me go back and look at his material, and you and I will talk offline and approach Tony again together.
Okay.
And you saw that email I sent to Roger Faulkner from RBD?
Yep. He still hasn't replied back yet, or?
I have not gotten anything back, but will you keep pestering him and saying we do need updates on the property that we invested with, as well as, you know, I think he wants to do more stuff with us, and he needs us, and see if we can get another deal in there as well with him.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll follow up.
All right. Okay, Chad, I think you're up now.
Yeah, hi. You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. So as per the write-up on, I guess it's on the website now. I didn't realize we had that ability. So we've got 3 properties under contract. Well, one's under contract. That are 2 of the offers have been accepted. I guess anywhere between 32 and 38,000, I think. And I saw you did a investor profile or write-up. I think didn't you, Dr. Yu? Maybe I'll pull that up too.
I did. I actually had Medell do it for us. Yes.
Oh, okay. Or did you want to pull that up on the screen?
I can. I'm going to it right now.
Okay. It might be easier if you did it. I'm not sure how to do it from my end. Looks like divorce.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is just a write-up that my virtual assistant did on divorce, current, you know, his sort of his past and some of the things he's working on.
So
okay,
you're going to send that out?
I certainly can. If you guys want to see it, we can send it out if anyone wants to see it.
Oh, is this it here? Oh, I thought it was. I thought you did an investor profile or
Oh, you meant the investment proposal.
Proposal. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for.
I beg your pardon. I have it. I'll get that up as well. Here we go.
Okay.
How's that? Anyone see that?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Okay, so between the 3 properties, we need 135 grand, and the strategy of these is to fix them up. Well, 2 of them actually don't really need any rehab work. They're almost ready to go. One was done by another investor that flipped it. One was fixed up by the bank, and then the 3rd one only needs minimal work, it's about 5 grand worth. So the first 2 should be able to get them rented within a month, and then try selling them to end investors after that. And then the 3rd one should only take a week or 2 to get into rent-ready condition and get that rented within a month or 2. So hopefully we can unload these within the next 4 to 6 months. And the selling prices are going to be anywhere between low 50s to low 60s. And so these they're not huge returns on a dollar basis, but they're pretty, I wouldn't say, I guess, low risk deals. I think Devore does these things all day long. So they should be turned around pretty quickly and make a nice little chunk of change on each. Oh yeah, okay, there we go, the summary.
Yeah, so let me interject a little bit. This is a business agreement that Bill and I started working on with DeVore. And Chad actually knew DeVore very well, so Chad started to work on the particular deals. But it's really DeVore has a very prolific turnkey property operation outside of the suburbs in Cleveland, Ohio. And as Chad mentioned, these are pretty much cookie-cutter deals for him. So, well, we are dealing with somebody who's experienced and who has a fairly well-oiled machine in that area. But I have been approached by many turnkey operators that have never been able to make it work where we buy things retail. But the deal we have with DeVore is simply we become the financing arm to his turnkey operation. Hey, Chad, could you put yourself on mute while we talk?
Sure.
Okay. But what we are trying to do is essentially the agreement is very simple. EAC provides all the funding. IIP, DeVore's company, does all the work. We get all the cash flow. DeVore's company gets property management fee. And then we turn around and we sell these properties. We don't hold on to them. We sell them to another investor that wants to hold on to them for income. And then we just split the proceeds 50-50, the profit. So if you see the summary here on the screen that I put up, we need about $133,000, and the gross flip profit is about $25,000, and we get half that for sort of a 4-month deal. So the cash-on-cash return with the cash flow, if we were to get all of the cash flow, is around 12%. So it's not a killer deal, but this is something that I think we can do with DeVore over and over again, and I think it would be a very nice source of modest income from a very well-proven model. These 3 properties are the first 3 properties of DeVore, and I'm just going to give this a try and see if it makes sense for both parties. And this is sort of a test case. And I will say, as a last line, we already have all the funds committed to this project. And John, if you can obviously send over stuff to Paul to fund these projects for us, that would be helpful.
Yes, of course.
Does anyone have any questions about that? I actually need to change this to section 133,000. Any questions, John or Olga, anybody else about how we're doing things with DeVore? And Bill, do you have anything to add?
No, I don't really have any questions. I think it's a pretty slim deal for us, for our side. But, you know, if they are done quickly and easily and there's not a lot of work, then I think it's okay. I mean, we'll have to monitor the actual income from rental, since that's the, you know, almost all we're making is from the rental income and the reserves and all that comes back at the end. We just need to evaluate those as we go through them.
That is true. The majority of income after we pay out an investor is going to come from the cash flow. That is true. And the interesting thing about it is, though, however, it is set up in a way, as you can see, the longer we hold the property, the more cash flow we will make. So, or the more cash we will make. So, unlike a typical rehab deal where we want to get in and out quickly, we certainly would like to get these done quickly because it would be a nice source of cash right away. But it doesn't necessarily hurt us to be in the property longer. So, it's an interesting model. We'll see where it goes and see if it works out. It really is just taking advantage of a machinery that's already there, that's very effective, and working with somebody who hopefully, we believe, knows what they're doing in their line of business.
I think we should look at holding, maybe not these first three, but look at holding some of the future ones as well if we continue forward. Couple of those were pretty good looking properties.
I agree.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. As a matter of fact, Libby is a property where the rent is already $1,000, and if the ARB is $62,000, this is one that will fit into John's portfolio model very nicely. So my hope is that as we do more and more of these properties, that we can just cherry pick and pick the ones that we want to keep and sell the ones we want to sell. It would, however, take Chad, a little bit more negotiation with DeVore, because the ones we have to keep, we have to obviously reward DeVore something to be able to buy into that property, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like $50 a month cash flow is probably not going to excite him too much.
No, it won't excite too much.
No.
Okay, but the interesting thing about DeVore is that he's another person that, despite all the problems we've had, and we've had our problems, we had disagreements, he just constantly keeps engaging with us. And so I think the desire to work with us is there, and I think that ultimately we should be successful.
Yeah, let's hope so. Like, let's see how the first three go, and
yep,
that'll be a good judge right there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll put this aside. And then,
okay, continue
anything else? Yep, Chad, something else you want to update us on?
Okay, well, we had 4 that we put bids on last week, or might have been the week before, for $35,000 each. They were already rented and probably rehabbed within the last 5 years, but apparently another bulk purchaser beat us out on that, which wasn't a bad thing because we wanted to get these 3 locked up anyway, get them out of the way first, and then we can move forward once we get a few deals under our belt. And I don't know if Frank's on the line or not, but he had a third property that came in that we put an offer out on last week. But it was actually a pretty decent looking property. It was built in the early 2000s or late 90s, I can't remember exactly. It was a duplex, good size. It was a 232s. So the rent on it would have been, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's close to $2,000, I think. And I think we went in an offer of $90,000. Only needed about $10,000 worth of work, so it would have been a pretty good deal. The bank came back and countered. I don't know. I didn't hear from Frank what their counter was, but I think we decided the 2 properties we have in the go right now, we'll just stick with those and see how he makes out, and then continue doing deals from there forward.
Frank, are you on the line? I don't think so. Yeah, I think Frank's got good deals in the pipeline. We just need to have Frank perform. We just started working with them, and we have 2 properties, at least one that we already got, the other one that we're going to buy soon, and we just like to see, obviously, how he does.
Right. So far, so good with the pictures I've seen on the Emma project. I still can't believe they're doing all that work for $24,000. South Florida, the prices are double that to do that type of work. So.
Well, if you can, and because Mike's experienced partner is giving it to his cost, and this definitely is a partnership we want to maintain.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it since Mike's the general contractor himself, hires all the subs.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it, Chad? Anything else you want to say?
I have some questions. Maybe I can ask at the end though about the portfolio financing, but I can leave them to the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Lou on the line? Hey, John, can you work with Lou to help him give us at least bi-weekly updates, just to kind of hear from him and how things are going in North Carolina?
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but that is our biggest market right now, and we hardly ever hear from him, so it would be nice.
Right. I mean, I talk to him at least every other day. So I'm in constant contact with him, and I know he's feeling a little stressed to get all these homes done. So it's difficult for him to do, but maybe I can, kind of help him by writing up something, based on our conversations. He's working probably 12 hours a day right now, just on, out in the field. So I understand it's very tough for him to get it all done.
I understand. But maybe you can, maybe even his wife, I know Barbara's involved a little bit, just a few lines of update. We don't want him to give us detailed update. It takes too much time to do, but yeah. So if you can help us open up a line of communication with Lou, that would be helpful.
Yep, will do.
Okay, is Anthony on the line?
Yeah, I'm on the line. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Anthony. If you want to give us a quick rundown, it looks like you put up a nice summary, but if you want to do those real quickly.
Yeah, let me get back to you in about 2 minutes so I find somewhere to stop. I'm driving right now.
That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, just roll along and I'll chime back in.
Okay. So why don't we move to Frank? He did send me an update. Doesn't sound like he's joined us, but he just gave us a very simple summary. They're still working away on Emma, and looks like they finished some back staircase, worked on the front porch, some doors, and there's some pictures in the Dropbox. In fact, Chad has already seen them. Does anyone know, Chad, do you happen to know when they'll be formally done with this project?
That's on Emma you're talking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he said they've got 2 of the units. One was almost done. The second one was well on its way, and then they've got the 3rd and 4th yet to tackle. And it sounded like they've already got some renters lined up.
Okay. So do you think within the next week or 2 they'll be done?
I'm not sure, but I could reach out and ask him what he thinks their timeline is. Yeah.
I'm just curious if they're on schedule.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll ask the question.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And that's what Frank believes, and I think we are scheduled to close, I think, next month on the 18th on Avenue L. And that fund has already been committed as well. So, Johnny, if you can help call Kim fund that deal, that would be good too.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Question about the trust agreements and everything for that. Who does those up, John? Do you do them yourself? Is it a template that you fill in, or do the lawyers do these?
Well, we had an attorney draw it up, and it is essentially a template. So in the past, I have always, changed all the appropriate information on those myself. Now I am trying to get our virtual assistants to do that, and that's been a little inconsistent. So that's something I'm continuing to try to pass off, because it's just, they take time to go through, and it's not terribly complicated on what you have to do, but there is a checklist, and you have to go through all these things and make sure everything's right. And when you add a deed of trust and a promissory note appropriate to each state, then it just becomes a little bit more involved. So training somebody to do that is something that I'm still trying to get completely finished with.
Okay. No, it wasn't sure whether you had a lawyer do it each time or you just did it yourself. Okay.
No. These are meant to be, more of a template than anything.
Okay. And one other thing I asked, I guess a few weeks ago, is there a difference between a mortgage state and a deed of trust state when you're doing a trust agreement?
Not in terms of the trust agreement, not in terms of that particular document, but there will be for, well, obviously, like Indiana is a mortgage state, so I have to do mortgages in Indiana, and North Carolina is a deed of trust state, so we just do the appropriate document for whichever state we're doing with. Oh,
so there's a different agreement for each state then? Okay, I wasn't sure of that.
Well, there's a different there's a different recorded instrument for those states. And that's something that I would work with the local closing attorney or title company to actually have drawn up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because Florida's a mortgage state as well.
Okay.
Just be aware of that when we do this. I guess Emma was done already, right?
Yeah, Emma was done, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'll have to go back and check on how that was done and all that, but been a lot of deals of late.
Right. Okay. That's all I have there.
Okay, let's go to Giovanni. Is Giovanni on the line?
No, Giovanni is not going to be able to join us, but
Okay.
he sent me an update, and let me bring that up. So on the 4748 College Avenue deal, we had gone back and forth, he and I, about this. And when I plugged all the numbers in, this is the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property that's right by San Diego State University. It really looked like a great potential flip to an investor type rental. But really, once Giovanni dug a little bit deeper into both the numbers that I provided him and also the ARV when he spoke with a couple of agents that work that area pretty heavily in terms of finding rentals for investors, he really couldn't support the ARV that he was hoping with great confidence. He thought, it was probably pretty realistic, but it was something that, with it being relatively tight, with the way that we were proposing to finance it and all that, it just didn't make sense for him to take a chance on basically a $550,000 investment. So he ended up walking away with that, or walking away on that before going hard with the EMD. On Calle de Medio, that is moving along, and he sent a few pictures of the progress. They basically had some plumbing upgrades on that. The painting was completed over the weekend. Kitchen cabinets are coming in this week, and then flooring, I think either late this week or early next week. And he didn't say when he expects to be finished, but I think that really once those items are in, it should just be a matter of a few days, since this was not a heavy rehab to start with. So that I would imagine that'll be listed within, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. And that's it from Giovanni.
Sounds good. Okay, is George or Mark on the line? Okay, but Bill, in the future, when these guys can't be here, and they do send us these little updates, will you try to present the updates for us? But it looks like George sent us just a simple outline of things that they're working on now. They did get an extension of the escrow, and it looks like all the money is lined up, ready to fund, and they have some meetings with their architect, and just issues that we're going to finalize that John's working on, right, John?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. But Bill, if you can help John out with this deal as much as possible, that'll be helpful.
Yep,
All right,
no problem.
Anthony. Okay, thanks. Anthony, are you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. The just opening up the documents. So, all right, the fourplex. Yeah, the roof finally got done on that, and Mike actually wanted to use an architect on this one and have him get some ideas on top of what he already wanted to do. So we've had an architect working on that, and we should get those drawings back either tomorrow, latest Thursday, and if everything looks good, I'll sign off on them, and we'll go ahead and begin framing. And the siding will also start on that this week. And the duplex, 201 Cleveland, the garage is already done. The carport was getting worked on yesterday. I don't think it's done, but I mean it's a small little area, so that should be done today if it's not already. And I think we will be painting the exterior of that this week as well, and starting on the inside. And as of when I was writing this, we had two RBR tenants already that are willing to rent at a discount. It's going to be about $100 a week. When regularly, when it's all fixed up, it's about $137 a week. And they're okay with being moved around and the noise, so that they were fine with just paying $100 a week. And I think as of today, we have 3 that we can put on the upper unit and then move them downstairs when we switch over to that. So that turned out pretty well. Byron already rented. They put down a partial deposit on Saturday. They were going to put down the whole $1,250, but the banks were closed, so they only put down, I think it was $100 or a couple hundred, and I was going to get the rest of it today. But that one's pretty much rented before it's even done. And what this has done for us, because it's kind of a busy street, Byron itself, and it's given us a lot of exposure. And Mike went ahead, put a for rent sign with his number on it, and he also has his own sign, you know, Mike General Contractor, and that's fine, you know, whatever. But the amount of traffic that we have gotten from that little for rent sign, and people just being able to see the kind of work that's going on and stopping and talking to the contractors or talking to Mike if he's on site or calling him, I'm pretty sure I'm not exaggerating to say Mike gets about 10 or 20 calls a day just on that one house. And what we began doing is just saving them and, you know, just kind of taking an order. Okay, yeah, this one's already rented. What are you looking for? What area do you want to be in? This is how we do all our rehabs. You're welcome to come and, you know, walk through it. So it's worked out great for us. Currently we have a backlog of people that have seen our work. The word is getting out there. Our brand basically is getting itself out. And the rate at which we'll be able to rent some of these, you know, by the time I'm going under contract and even starting on a rehab, more times than not, we'll almost already have someone that fits them perfectly. Having said that, there's a house that I just walked through with my my realtor today. Byron, the street behind Byron is it's called Dennis, and that's actually a HUD. It's listed, I think, for about 34.9 or 36, whatever it is. And I mean, I already know I want to be in that area, so I'll make an offer that I know will get accepted, which is about 32, and I should get an accepted offer on that one tomorrow, and be moving right along with that. The other thing was rent by room. Sometimes when Mike takes the call, because Byron initially was going to be a rent by room, so he's been throwing that out there on the people that called on that particular for rent sign. And again, the same as people that want to rent a single family, we already have a list of people that want to rent on a room basis. Not all of them are seniors, but that little house on Byron has it worked out way more better than I ever thought it would. Then what did I miss? We were caught up. Yeah, I probably have about 10 or so houses in the pipeline that I'm going back on, and you know, now that we are caught up, I just basically stopped doing anything with the 2 weeks of rain that we had. Nothing really was happening, so I'm back in it, and there's about 10 that I'm simultaneously working. The one that I'm going to get tomorrow is Dennis. It's right behind Byron, and I know my number will be just about what it needs to be for HUD to accept it. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so Anthony, I think the bottom line is that your rental market is very strong. You won't have problems renting.
Absolutely. And flips too. The market's really picking up on flips. 46530, that's a zip code in Granger, which I've always wanted to get into. And I'll be making an offer today as well on a property out there. It's listed for about 198. When it's all said and done, I'm going to probably have to cough up about 150, need about 100 grand into it, and we should be able to list and sell it for between 370 and 399.9. So, and that's in an area that's cumulative days in market. It's about 30 days. As soon as they hit the market, they're gone. So the whole 3 markets I work in, both rental and flips, they're really picking up. So
Okay.
good stuff.
That's good stuff. A couple of things. One, we have to figure out a way, Anthony, that we take the pro forma and compare it to the actual. So we have to figure out a way, preferably on our website, where what you and I and all of us predicted is going to happen and how well we did. So let's try to figure that out, because my feeling is you're getting these properties to perform better than what we predicted. So let's make sure we do that. We just need to basically grade ourselves, see how we're doing. And let's try to do that on our website. That's point number 2. I want to buy your next property that's RVR into my retirement funds, because I want to see if that model will work for me and for others that want to do that. So the last deal we had that we were going to do fell out, so you can keep that in mind.
I will.
Okay. All right. Anything else for anyone else? I think we're at the bottom of the list of people to talk about. I guess I can mention a few things because I didn't go over my summary, which really is not an update. It's just giving you guys some ideas I had. But before I do that, Chad, you had some questions, didn't you?
Yeah, hi, sorry. No, just more around the portfolio, the RTR financing, what have you. You're talking about non-recourse versus recourse. I guess this question's more at John. John, was there a difference between the loan to value between the recourse and non-recourse?
Yes, they want to do 60% on non-recourse.
Oh, only 60. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And with the appraisals that we had on this particular tranche, that wouldn't be a major problem. But it's, to me, so that's one factor, is that they have a lower LTV, and then of course their rate is going to be, again, I'd have to look, but it's probably 3/8 or so higher on the rate. And then, again, as I mentioned, the additional banking situation that they set up for non-recourse.
Yeah, so it's like a cash management account or something that they wanted, right?
Yes, yeah, it's basically a sweep account that all the rents have to go into initially.
Right, and then they pay you out. I guess they withhold the any reserves or escrow for insurance and taxes, and then they pay you out the remainder, right?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've seen a ton of lenders starting to come out with the same program now, or not the same program, but the same idea. And I think D2R might be falling behind on. Well, maybe I think there's more competition out there, because I see a lot better terms than what B2R has been offering. So I'm wondering if it may not be a bad idea to look into somewhere else next time.
Oh, absolutely. That's fully my intention. At the time when we started this process, we went through several different. Now, do you know, what are some of the names that you've been seeing that have better terms?
There's, what's the name of their direct competitor, American Colony Finance, or American Finance Colony?
Yeah, I
Something
looked
like
into them at the time. Again, months ago, so everything changes quickly. The biggest competition that we came down to was First Key. And
First Key's another one.
Yeah, they have a 30-year product, 30-year fixed product, which is very attractive. But when it came down to it, they require a one-year seasoning on all